What if the most revealing confession isn't a sentence, but a split second, a tiny flicker in the eyes, a breath that comes a little too deep, a smile that arrives one beat late? In the middle of a perfectly normal promotion event, a camera allegedly caught something fans were never meant to notice. An expression that looked less like colleague focus and more like a man trying to stay calm when the person he cares about is laughing with someone else. And once people saw it, they couldn't unsee it. Stay with me, because today we're not chasing rumours. We're breaking down a pattern, quiet, controlled, and strangely human. It begins the way most modern moments begin, not with a headline, but with a few seconds of footage that feels too small to matter until it doesn't. Li Chen is speaking with another male actor at a promotion event. The exchange is light, polite, and completely within the boundaries of professional publicity. Yet the camera, drifting without intent, catches Chen Zheyuan nearby at precisely the wrong time. The time when a face has not yet arranged itself into the expression the world expects. What makes this clip travel is not what he does, but what he tries not to do. A glance that lingers a fraction longer, a subtle tightening at the jaw, a breath that looks like a private reset. Then a smile, presentable, composed, and almost too carefully placed. Viewers who are used to celebrity media see that split second as a crack in the surface, a glimpse of the person beneath the performance. The fascination grows because the moment feels unedited in spirit, even if the video itself is. It invites a single question. If nothing is happening, why does it look like he is working so hard to look fine? Loud drama gives you a clear villain, a clear conflict, and an easy conclusion. Subtle jealousy does the opposite. It refuses to announce itself. It arrives as restraint, as control, as the quiet effort of someone trying to remain decent while feeling something inconvenient. That is why audiences find it more compelling. It feels closer to real life. In public, most people do not explode. They manage. They swallow the first reaction, choose the polite tone, keep their posture steady, and hope nobody notices the second that nearly betrayed them. If viewers sense that in Chen Zheyuan, they are not just watching a celebrity, they are recognizing a human reflex they have lived themselves. The heart reacts faster than the mind can tidy it up. This is also why the interpretation spreads so quickly. It is emotionally safer than outright accusation. It does not require a scandal. It only requires a feeling. And feelings, especially restrained ones, create an ache of unfinished meaning. They make people return to the clip, not to confirm a fact, but to confirm a possibility. Subtle jealousy is gripping because it reads like a confession that still wants to be private. A single clip can be dismissed as timing, lighting, or coincidence. What makes the conversation grow is the belief that the same emotional signature appears again and again in different settings. Fans begin to stitch together interviews, group photos, stage moments, and casual footage. In their eyes, a pattern emerges. When Li Chen is close to certain male colleagues, Chen Zheyuan's energy changes. Not dramatically, but noticeably if you are already looking for it. They describe a shift from ease to carefulness. He smiles because that is what public life demands. Yet the smile seems to carry a slight stiffness, as if it is being held in place. He speaks less, nods more, and his gaze appears to split, partly following the conversation, partly tracking where Li Chen's attention is landing. Even his body seems more measured, as though he is trying to appear relaxed while paying close attention. Then comes the contrast that strengthens the theory. When Li Chen interacts with women, the tension supposedly dissolves. The atmosphere looks lighter, the posture softens, the smile becomes easier. Whether this reading is fair is a separate question. But as a narrative engine, the pattern is powerful because it turns ordinary behavior into a repeated clue. Viewers are no longer watching moments, they are watching for consistency. There is a more generous way to interpret the same behaviors, and it changes the emotional tone of the entire story. What if the point is not possession, but presence? In crowded promotional environments, where every movement can be cut, reposted, and misunderstood, some people choose a quieter kind of care. They do not step forward to claim attention. They do not interrupt. They simply stay close enough to help if needed, and distant enough to avoid creating headlines. This reading reframes the watching from a distance as responsibility rather than control, standing a few steps behind, not to dominate, but to buffer, moving subtly to the side that shields someone from the pressure of cameras, not because they are jealous, but because they are aware of how intense public spaces can be. In this version, the deep breath is not a sign of anger. It is a sign of self-management. The smile is not a mask to hide something dangerous. It is a choice to keep the room calm. The glances are not surveillance. They are check-ins. Protective presence can look suspicious in a culture trained to read romance into every gesture. Yet, it can also be a mark of maturity, caring without spectacle, attention without ownership. If there are feelings involved, this kind of restraint might be the most respectful evidence of all. If you want deeper insight than replaying a glance, you watch for situations that reveal instinct. Not staged interactions, but moments where people have no time to plan their reactions. These are the off-camera scenarios that, if they occurred, would feel far more telling than any slowed-down clip. One is the priority moment. Schedules shift. A staff member calls someone aside. The room becomes briefly chaotic. In that split second, who does he look for first? Not who he walks to, but who his attention checks on before he returns to public composure. Priority is a silent language. Another is the boundary moment, when someone speaks too close, teases too freely, or pushes into personal space. Does he stay polite while quietly repositioning, creating distance without humiliation? That kind of protective courtesy often signals deep care. Then there is the reassurance moment. After a tense press question, does he glance over as if to confirm she is steady, even if he says nothing? Reassurance does not always come as a hand on a shoulder. Sometimes it is simply staying aligned, making sure the other person does not feel alone in front of the room. These scenarios spiral fans because they feel less performative. They do not prove romance, but they reveal attachment, the quiet habit of considering someone even when the spotlight is elsewhere. If you enjoyed this style of breakdown, where we keep it respectful, emotionally intelligent, and still absolutely fascinating, please subscribe to LVT-SHOWBIZ. Thank you for watching and for supporting content that celebrates nuance rather than noise. Keep an eye on the next interaction, because sometimes the smallest moment says the most.